Welcome once again. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. I want to welcome you to Open Talk. This Open Talk is you talk or I talk, or who hear who, then it talk. Now it is for us to talk. And as we talk, we are talking from the scriptural perspective, and our aim is to be of encouragement to somebody out there. I don't know what you are going through, but I pray that by the power of the Holy Spirit, you will receive a word of encouragement, a word that will build you up, a word that will stir you up and cause you to go to the next level. And this is why we have open talk. And in open talk, we just talk it as it is. We are not experts. We don't claim to be experts, but the little that we know, we talk it. Many years ago, when I was praying and fasting, when I started Deliverance Church in Nakuru, I didn't know how to preach. And I didn't know even where or what to preach. So I went to pray and fast, and I was asking God, you have now spoken to me to start Deliverance Church. What do I tell the people? And God spoke to me. God spoke to me and said, son, whatever little I give you, give it out in simplicity. Give it out in simplicity. It doesn't matter. Don't go for the amount, but you give it out in simplicity. And that's how I learned to be a simple preacher. No complication. But tonight I am not preaching. I'm not a preacher. Tonight I am me. I am Mark Kariuki, and I have some two guests who have come to be with me at the Open Talk. And this time I have two ladies. Can you imagine? I'm surrounded. Man, somebody help! I'm surrounded. But I'm so glad that these are daughter of ours. This is my wife, and we are in good hands and in safe places. So welcome to the Open Talk. Let me ask Reverend Joyce to greet you this evening in Open Talk. We want to say Jambo.
Amen. Praise the Lord. And how are you? Thank you so much for tuning into this program, the Open Talk with Bishop Mark Kariuki. And I pray that as you listen to us, that there is something we are going to say that will be of benefit to your life. You know, the word of the Lord is very clear that we receive our life. We are built, we are empowered, we are changed by His word. So I pray that this will be a moment for our viewers to be changed.
Thank you very much. Amen. You can see what God has done. When I married her, she was not like that. But you can now see, the real her is come up. The real her is come up, and we just bless the Lord. And our guest tonight is Reverend Sarah Ikiara Nyakundi. Reverend Sarah Ikiara Nyakundi. She is married to Pastor Isaiah Nyakundi of Deliverance Church, Kiserian. And she is also an assistant pastor in that church. She has been in that church for quite some time. And she assists the pastor there, Pastor Waithaka. Thank you so very much. And she is also a lecturer in Landmark Baptist Theological College, and a director in Ongata Rongai and Nairobi centers. She is the director of the Baptist Theological Landmark Baptist Theological College in Ongata Rongai and Nairobi. Those two centers. And she is with us today. Our viewers, once again, this is Open Talk with Bishop Mark Kariuki, coming to you as a lifter of your heart, that your heart may be lifted up. And as we go through the program tonight, I'm sure you are wondering, oh, Bishop, how come you have two ladies? What do you want to talk to us about? Now, tonight, we want to talk about singles in the church. Now, when we talk about singles in the church, this is one group that has completely been forgotten, that has been so forgotten, or feels forgotten. Maybe I should say feels forgotten. But we want to first of all realize that being single is not sin. Being single is not sin. Yes. That is the first and most important thing. That if you are a single, you are not a sinner. If you are single, you are not out of order. You are in God's plan. And God has not forgotten you. And where we live, we have helicopters that pass around. We have helicopters that pass around. So just in case you hear the sound of a helicopter, it is nothing strange. It's just a helicopter that is passing, and we will not allow it to keep you from receiving what God has prepared for you. Therefore, welcome to tonight's program, and may you enjoy it. Now, why did I bring these two ladies? I asked these two ladies to come. We talk about singlehood, or about singles in the church. Number one, because they have been single, and they have been in the church, and they have been faithful in the church as singles. And today they are married. And they are married in the church, and they are serving in the church. So I thought this would be people who would be of great benefit to us as singles, or to those of us who are singles. You know, I was also single for quite some time. And we started a singles fellowship, which is not dead. It will still come. And it really helped quite a good number of us. But I want to ask you, ladies, that just be free and be open, and just your life experience would be a great blessing to the people of God who are listening to this program. First of all, let's find out, how many singles do we have? I don't know how good that question is, Sarah, but I just want to find out how many singles. This is how many types of singles do we have, so that when we are talking about singles, we are able to identify and say, these are the singles we are talking about.
Thank you very much, Bishop. We have single, that is those young people, young adults who have never been married. Single, waiting to be married. We have single young people who are in school, high school, college. That is a different class. We have single parents, single fathers, single mothers who are raising their children. They are not married. We have single separated, those that were married, but now they are apart, either a husband or a wife, but now living separately. We also have single divorced.
Wow. So we have many kinds of singles. Are there any other singles?
And singles widowed.
Yes.
We also have singles who are widowed.
Yes.
And singles who are widowed. Is there anything like that?
Lost a spouse.
Yeah. Singles who are singles because they lost a spouse.
Yes.
And others who are left by a spouse.
Yes.
And others who are single because nobody has ever asked them for a hand in marriage. And there are those who are singles because they refused. They refused to get married. We have some who refuse.
Yes.
Refused or have no desire.
To get married.
I think that's a good one.
No,
we are categorizing them. We have those who refused, and we have those who don't have a desire to get married. And then there are those who want to get married, and they have been. I don't want to say rejected, because rejected is not the word, but they have the opportunities. Every opportunity that they have received has somehow slipped away. It has somehow slipped away, and they have not succeeded. So we have quite a good number of singles, and one of the things that I have heard many say is that singles are forgotten. And if we say that we deal with all these singles, we may not do justice during this program. And because we don't have the whole day or the whole night to be here, maybe we single out one group, which we say, this is the group we are going to talk about first. Then we can go to the next one and go to the next one. Now, if we don't come to your group, fear not, we will get there. But we will maybe pick one group. What group would you want us to talk about, Joyce?
I think out of all the categories we are saying, there is this one group, for whatever reason they are single, but they have a desire to get married at some point in their lives. And I think we are also talking both the men and the women, because I think most times the women are really ministered to and the men are forgotten, but it is actually the single man, the single woman who has a desire to get married. And if I think back about many of those who reach out to us, Because like for me, I receive a lot of them reaching out to me for one reason or another. Most of them are those that have a desire to get married.
So we are talking about singles, single men, and single women who have a desire to get married. Okay. Now that is the group that we are talking about, and you also realize that actually the ladies are more vocal and more aggressive. The single ladies who want to get married, even in the, now when we talk about the single again, we were talking about the single ladies who want to get married. Now there are we can also categorize that into different categories, or maybe into two categories, because there are those who are single, they want to get married, like my granddaughter. She's only, how old is she now? Is she 5? 7. Duta is about 7. But if you ask her, she will tell you one day she will get married. And we have other singles who are teenagers. There are single girls who are teenagers, and we have single boys who are teenagers. Then we have those singles who are now 20, between 20 and 25. That is the age of marriage. And also we have those ones who are singles. They desire to get married, and they are in their 30s and above. And that's a group maybe we would call senior singles. That's one at 25 or 30 qualified to be senior.
Senior singles or young adults?
We can?
Yes.
We can say 30. At 30. So you are at 30, from 30 and between 30 and 70 or 80 and above. We just say 30 and above. I'm saying that because I've given a testimony of several who are single ladies. One of them got married at 58. At 58, she was a single lady. And then, even in that category, there are those who are senior singles and they have children. And there are those who are senior singles and have no children. So it would be good for us to do that, and also to remember that we are including the men. Okay, let's go to Joyce. Joyce is married to a bishop in this city, and she is going to give us her story. Joyce, tell us a little bit about your story. Remember, we are discussing on singles, not just single ladies, but singles, both men and women. And these are not every single, but these are senior singles who are who want to get married, are ready to get married, but are not married yet. And these two fell in that category for quite some time, and that's why we are seeking from the treasure of their lives, the treasure that is in them. We are bringing it out. So Joyce, tell us, who are you married to, and give us your story, wherever you want to start.
Okay, thank you so much. It's a long story, so I'll try and give a summary of it. So, was born in Gatondo by my parents, and been a firstborn in my family, a family of 3 girls and 1 boy. And went to primary like everybody else, then went to secondary school in Kieni Girls in Embu. And by the grace of God, I was admitted to Egerton University, where I completed my school, I think in 1998. After that, I left high school, I left college and decided to seek for greener pastures in the land of America. Yes, so everybody at that time desired to go there, and I was in that category. So I went to the US to do my master's degree, and I was there for 3 years until today. I look back and I say I was led by God to come back to Kenya in the year 2005. So I came back in 2005 and immediately got into church. I got into Deliverance Church in 2005, and I served there for a while. And maybe like Sarah also said, up to that point, I was also in relationships. I remember in the US. Now my husband gets to get the full story.
My ears are open.
Maybe bits he didn't know, but he knows a lot anyway. So in the US, I was in a relationship. Now, going back even to campus, I was in a very long relationship. which died. Then I went to the US. I was in a relationship in the US, but when I came back, of course, it also died. So I landed back in Kenya and got working in different places. I worked in Daystar at one time. Then I also decided to get into my own business. Started a business where I was helping people who wanted to go to abroad for studies. And I did that for a while. Then got a job with the insurance companies. I worked for insurance companies until 2013 when I got married. But again, up to that point also, I was in another relationship which died one Sunday morning through a phone call.
Wow.
Yes.
I think maybe I need to ask a question. Why do relationship die that? They just die like that?
They died.
Or they are murdered? Maybe that's a question we need to ask ourselves.
Yes.
Do they just die, or they are murdered, or they are
the thing
executed?
is they finish. Whichever
okay.
way they finish. Yeah. So, yeah, until now, 2013.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You see, that's it's quite a journey.
I've tried to.
Now,
Yes.
let's come back to Sarah. You are in this relationship. You want to be a pastor. You have become a pastor.
Yes.
And you are in a relationship with another pastor. And it just dies. Was it killed or murdered, or was it suicide? Did it commit suicide? What happened to the relationship?
Now, at some point, I started feeling like we are not moving together.
Uh-huh.
Because initially it said, no, you should not go to a theological college, you should not become a minister. And then there were conditions on dress code. And I felt like we were now becoming like, I was saying, if there are these, do's and don'ts before marriage, then what will happen after marriage? But especially for this particular relationship, when I became a pastor, then he disconnected.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Then what happened now that you are married, or did it just happen and then you got someone else and then?
Now, after a breakup, there are woods. So you are wounded, you are in pain, you are back to prayer, you are asking questions, you are looking into yourselves. There are young ladies who are looking up to you. There are people you are mentoring. There are singles who are looking up to you. You don't have answers. Some of them knew you're in a relationship. You don't know what to tell them because there's nothing you did in particular. But I continued serving. But there was a long period of loneliness and quietness and not mingling. My healing came by going full force in study. So I started doing my master's, my PhD, and that way I got healed. I got a fulfillment. Yes. Then
when did you end up getting married?
Before that, there was another relationship. There was now another serious relationship. In 2015, 2016. So this one graduated to courtship. And we started all these processes, but way in between there, as I started engaging my pastor, and now we are getting to know the relatives of both sides, and they set a date for dowry. I started seeing some, we call them red lights. And I wondered whether is it the Lord speaking? Is it confusion? Is it me who doesn't want to get married? So we started praying with some women in church. By that time I was in Deliverance Church, Kiserian. So we started praying. The pastor was praying and he was very happy because he had met this young man. And he was happy that I'm getting married. But when they had set the date for dowry, there were so many things that came up. There were lies, and God gave me favor with his sister. So this guy would come and lie to me. Initially, it was to get a transfer to Nairobi. He was a high school teacher. And so he started working towards that. And then the mother said, because now we were working towards the dowry, them coming to bring the dowry, she said that he's going to support me in the ministry so we can relocate, although he's the firstborn son in the family. So those plans were underway. But from the blues, he started saying he's not pursuing transfers anymore, and then there were so many other things that came up, but the dowry date was still there. But like 2 weeks before the dowry date, there was change of date, although we had done most of the things, including some of my immediate family members traveling to home to make sure that everything is prepared. Me, I was in a conference in Nakuru, a ladies' conference. I had taken like very many ladies to the conference, but I was to go home and start helping in preparations. So I left before the conference was over. But there was change of date. By the time I am almost in Nanyuki to my way home, there was change of date. Yet many things were planned, so we could not believe it. The women in the village, because they loved me so much, they could not take it. So we waited and we were asking, then when is the next date? It was not given. What are the details? So there were phone calls, and we were told there were disagreements between him and his elders because his father was late. So the Bamkubwa, brothers to the father, and things like that. So there was no other date. So we started calling, waiting, all that. Then we were told he is depressed. They have disagreed with the mother. They have disagreed with the relatives. There are things he needs to do. There's a house he needs to build for the mother. There are children he is educating. His sister's child is... there are responsibilities he was given. But to me, because I was in prayer, I saw like God was saying something about us moving together. But that was the end of it. We waited for the date. There was no date. But now there was this relationship between him and my pastor, a strong bond between him and my mother, a strong bond between him and my, the cheerleader in the church. So there was a serious problem there to cut those cords. Because from that time I felt God was saying no to this relationship. Yes.
Wow. So there are situations that come on our way, which at times you don't understand, but God is involved.
Sure.
So it is always good to be sensitive as far as when you are in a relationship, because God can speak in different ways. You could be talking to somebody who is going through that situation right now. You could be talking to somebody who has been waiting for a date, and the date has not been forthcoming. Or another one who has the date has been set, and all of a sudden, by a phone call, we are not coming, we will tell you when we are coming, and no explanation. Now you are left, or it is left on you to go and explain to your people, and your people don't understand. They are wondering, so why did you tell us there was somebody who was coming, and then they are not coming? What is going on? Some of these situations come and they face us, and it is always important to value your relationship with God, and to value the relationship with your pastor. Because your pastor will stand with you when everybody else has gone. Your pastor is the one who will stand with you when you feel rejected. He's the one who will make you know you are not rejected. When you feel unwanted, your pastor will stand with you and tell you, no. You are profitable, you are wanted, you are good. And I'm glad that you are saying your relationship with your pastor and the church helped you quite some. Joyce, did you have some disappointments?
They were there. They were there. And I think if any married woman or man was ever to speak, being honest, this is open talk. Most of us have. So I also had those, the breakups I've spoken about. Well, I never came that close to, like my friend Pastor Sarah.
You didn't see the door from a distance, say that is the door, and then all of a sudden is...
But there is one who I remember one time telling me to go and shop for a gown. So that's a door.
Oh.
I remember one time we were just having a conversation and he told me, you need to start shopping for your gown. And I knew that's a clear indication of where this relationship is headed.
So did you shop for one?
I didn't.
Where
I
is
didn't
it?
because I didn't.
Oh.
Because a few weeks later, that's when I got a call of it's over by phone. So, yeah, disappointments are there. And especially like Pastor Sarah is saying, when it comes to those breakups, they can really be hurtful at the moment. But, you know, later you can look back and thank God that that had to happen for you to meet the right person.
I think that what we need to capture here, or we need to pursue here, it's at the moment and later.
Yes.
Because that is the crucial time when the disappointment has taken place, and now the grace of moving from this disappointment to now later to see, oh, kumbe God was involved in that situation.
Yes.
And I think that's one area which we need to look at quite some, because that is an area which could bring in depression. It could bring in depression, denial.
Anxiety.
It could also bring in so many other
People backslide.
yeah, others will backslide. Others will want to
Or
revenge,
kill themselves.
Kill themselves.
Suicidal. It could turn suicidal. Now you know we are talking to somebody who could be going. We could be talking to somebody who could be going through this situation.
Sure.
So when you find it come, it is not by accident. It's because God wants somebody to hear that that moment. What you've got to get in your system, in your whole system, is that your whole life is not dependent on that moment. It's not dependent on that moment. It's just like young girls. When young girls are being deceived by young men for sex, they're being told, just this one, just this once, just this one, just this once. And they feel now, if I refuse, he will leave me, he will run away from me. And then eventually they end up becoming pregnant, and the guy disappears, and the girl is left there with a baby, and the public to deal with, while the man goes scot-free. So we've got to communicate to the people that moment when you think this is it or I die, this is it or I am gone. I want you to know that your life is not dependent on that moment. If you can lift up your head at that moment and say, okay, this has happened, but what next? Life has got to continue. So I don't know how you went through those moments. What do you need? You need people. You need support. You need to talk. How would you advise somebody who is going through a situation like that, where they have just received the news that we are not coming for dowry this Saturday or tomorrow? Others are told actually in the morning. Yours was
the same day.
In the evening, you are told, well, we are not coming. Or you are waiting, or already the food has been cooked.
Yes.
And you are told, oh, we can't come. And we have a problem, but I will explain to you later. And the later never comes.
Sure.
So how do you deal with such a situation?
Bishop, it's not very easy. Because now the women have been told, my relatives, some of them had traveled, my own sister, and asked for permission from her place of work. She has come home. My brother has bought her, this goat that is going to be slaughtered. The women are waiting. They have been praying for me. They love me. It's not.
There is excitement in the compound.
They are waiting for you. They are waiting for that week to come. And the other side, the phones are silent. There are no explanations. Then you are told the relationship is still there.
Wow.
But the date has been postponed. And there is no other new date given, so that at least you give them and it will be like a solace. Nothing. It's not easy. And I know there are people, I help ladies in church. They have gone into depression after that kind of a situation.
Tell us, Sarah, when you received that information, this is open talk. Did you cry? Did you run away? Did you scream? Did you go into the bedroom and cover yourself with the blankets? What did you do?
Of course I cried, but not in public.
Yeah. You see, my mother, this is going far, but my mother used to sit on a wheelchair, and I used to push the wheelchair. And I'm a preacher, and I've done crusades, and I've seen people healed. So we went to visit some relatives somewhere, and I went to the booth to get the wheelchair, put it here, support my mother so that she can sit on the wheelchair, and I'm pushing it. And where she goes to sit, she will sit on that wheelchair until we're finished. Then I will push her back, and I'm pushing the wheelchair back, and I take it back to the car. I put her at the door and lift up her feet, and she goes in. I'm putting the wheelchair in the boot, and this girl comes and asks me, Pastor Mark, so you're the one who preaches on television. Why is your mother sitting on a wheelchair? Why can't you pray for her? You see, that can be very, 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 very challenging. But I looked at it and I said, well, I have prayed, I have done what I need to do. The rest I leave it to God. And that's what I told her. I'm not the healer. God is the healer. So I pray for God to heal the people. But you know, you leave that place with a lot of questions. So there are people there who think that pastors don't get disappointed, pastors don't get hurt, especially lady pastors, or those people who have hot testimonies in the church. The ladies with the hot testimonies don't get disappointed. And so that's why I want us to be an encouragement to somebody who maybe received a phone call yesterday, and she is in bed up to now, and she doesn't know what to do. What can we tell that person?
That they should not die there. They should not get depressed. They should rise up above depression and stress in that situation. And when one door closes, Bishop, you always teach us that another door is opening. When one door closes, actually they say many other doors are opening. So you'll have to choose. Like me, I had to choose now. After this one, I thought I'm not getting married anymore. And I closed everything about prayer for a partner. But many other doors opened. And out of those other many doors, that's where now I got married last year.
So if your door has been closed, well, that is not the end. It just means there are many other doors which are open, and what you've got to do is to be patient. And when you're in a situation like that, don't make drastic decisions. Don't make quick decisions. You relax. The world is not ending just because Jimmy has gone. The world is not ending just because Sue has gone. The world is not ending just because you have received a phone call that they are not coming or they are not interested in you. Just cool down, relax, and watch for the open doors. I'm going to ask Joyce the same question, but maybe you can answer after we come from break. We want to take a short break, and then you can answer this question about the disappointments. When your phone call came, it is over. Did you run away? Did you hide in the blankets? Did you go to hospital, or did you go jogging, or what did you do? But maybe you can tell us. We can tell us after the break. We will come back after the break, and Joyce will tell us that, and maybe we'll see how far we can go. And this may take us some time. Thank you so very much. This is Open Talk, and you are so welcome. We are willing to hear listen to your comments. Please, there's a number on your screen. Just send us a text message, and we will be able to communicate back to you. Thank you so much. Let's go for a break. Every Thursday, 8:15 is our communion night. This communion is international. It's for everybody. Everybody is so excited. We are so excited about Thursday night when the church gangs up and is united together. People from different denominations, people from different backgrounds, we partake of the communion together. Because instead of you going out there for the communion, the communion comes to you where you are. So please remember that. Welcome back to Open Talk. This open talk with Bishop Mark Kariuki is a session where we just open up our hearts. Our guests just open up their hearts, and our aim is to help as many people as we possibly can. We don't claim to be experts, but we claim to be talkers, because we are called to be talkers. And as we talk, you glean on the truth that we have, that which is going to help you. And tonight we are privileged to have Reverend Dr. Sarah Ikiara Nyakundi to be with us, who is assisting the pastor in Ongata Rongai Deliverance Church. And we are also privileged to Kiserian, not Ongata Rongai, Kiserian. Thank you so very much. And we're also privileged to have Reverend Joyce Kariuki, who happens to be my wife of 7 good years. Amen. 7 good years and a number of months. And we bless the Lord for that. And before we went for break, I had asked you this question, but tell us.
So I think you had started with Sarah when you're asking her how she was able to cope.
Yes.
With the no date being given. And then many other heartaches that may have happened, which I was saying we all have gone through at some point. And for me, when I received that phone call of it's over, I don't think I cried, but I was hurt. I was hurt. And I always tell people it is okay. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to cry, because there were emotions that were involved. Unless you are not human, or unless the relationship was, I don't know how to put it.
Bogus.
There would be some emotion of pain and crying. So that's okay to do that at the moment. What we are saying is that should not, be prolonged, or that should not lead to depression and to suicide. Now that they are hearing us saying that door closes and another opens. So I went through that. But I remember also something else that helped me, which could help somebody, is having friends. Having a few ladies, if it's for us ladies, who you can talk to. And I remember that evening, I called 2 of my friends, 2 of my girlfriends. We are still friends to today. So I called them in my house, and I related to them the event that had happened. And we had a good time of talking, and they made fun of it. They made me laugh about it. And where I cried, they also cried. So I remember that night, we spent the night with them. They didn't leave me. And we spent the night in my place. And we walked the journey with them. So that's something I would say. Because what has happened also is most people now, relationships are like private secrets. Nobody, I don't want people to know I'm in a relationship. Nobody knows I have a boyfriend. So even when we break up, I'm left to handle the pain alone. But if you have a friend, an accountability friend, then when that happens, at least you have a shoulder to cry on. So friends are important, even as you go through these relationships. And of course, your relationship, topmost, with God. Because at the end of the day, He's the one who just walks with you during that season. Yeah.
In other words, what I'm hearing is that with the friends, you are better off.
Yes.
Because you don't keep the whole thing inside you. You have an opportunity to vent it out, to bring it out. Because what eats you is what remains inside. You don't want to talk it, and it's already inside, and it is eating you and eating you up. It could lead to depression. It could lead to suicide. It could lead to different reactions. And
even if then you don't necessarily have those kind of friends, but there's always somebody you can reach out to. Either a pastor's wife, maybe in your church, or there is a lady you admire in the church, or elsewhere. I think the key thing is to look for somebody that you can speak with and just cry if you need to cry, and cry with them, and can encourage you on the journey.
And crying is not a problem. Crying is not sin. It is a way of crying is God-given way of releasing some emotion. So once you do, you realize some of these things were given by God. The other day I don't know who I was talking to, and they said I had forgotten something. And they were feeling guilty. They have forgotten, or I forgot. And I told them, you know what? Forgetting is a gift from God. One of the greatest gifts that God gave to man is the power to forget. Because when you forget, that thing is out of your mind. But if you remember everything that comes on your way, everything is you putting it in your mind, you putting it in your head, your head is going to burst. So some of those things, you forget them and move on. But the best way, one of the ways of forgetting is when you share it with somebody. Because when you share it with somebody, it's no longer eating you up. So don't sit there because you received a phone call yesterday and you are told it is over and now you cannot sleep. You are tossing in bed the whole night as if the world has come to an end. And then know this, if your relationship has been broken, it is not the first one to be broken. And neither is it the last one. The many more, you don't know how many broke just before yours. So realize you are not the only one, and it is not a death sentence. Okay, now capturing that relations get broken, and you see it takes time to build a relationship, and then it is broken. You go to square one, and the sun does not stop. And neither does the moon stop. The earth does not stop rotating. It keeps on rotating. In other words, if you are told on Monday, Tuesday is coming. If you receive the phone call on Tuesday, Wednesday is coming. You don't stick to Tuesday and say, okay, all days are going to be Tuesday until I get someone else. So years or days are accumulating. Maybe I need to ask you, ladies, in the ladies' world, is there a particular age at which a lady feels, now I must get married? Or is there a particular season? I don't know. What do you think, Sarah?
The society, the way the society treats us is, I think, at the immediately after college or thereabout, 20s, they expect you to have, to begin to prepare to get married.
In other words, there is the community expectation.
Oh yes.
And that tells me that influences someone's way of thinking.
Sure.
The expectations of the society. Joyce, is there, or are you still saying something?
So I think age, mid-20s, late 20s, somebody is supposed to have gotten married. Yes.
Mid
25, 26, 20, yeah. 20.
In their 20s. Yes, Joyce.
Totally agree with her.
How did you feel at that age?
Which age? The 26? I don't remember. 26, where was I? I don't know. I think it's true worship. I'm trying to think after campus, after I did my master's degree, but that I should have been approaching my 30s by then. But yes, around that time now, I was starting to think now is the time to get married. But like we are saying, it's more of a society expectation on people, because we know people can get married at 21. We've seen people get, for us, we got married past 40. We've seen people get married in their 50s. So it's just a society mindset.
Now, you just said something. For us, we got married at
over 40.
Over 40.
After 40.
Now, for us, is the two of you.
Yes, she's my friend.
You're good friends. Okay. Now, maybe there's somebody there who would want to know about that journey. The journey towards to beyond 40. How is that journey to beyond 40? And you are keeping the faith. You are holding on to the hope that you are going to get married. How is that journey?
Maybe I can take it first, then Reverend Joyce will continue. It is not easy, especially the area of when people are asking you, when are you going to get married? But I thank God I had favor with my parents. I had favor in the church, although there is normally pressure from the church members. So their feeling would like our pastor to get married, would like these ladies, senior ladies and senior men to get married. And especially today, there is a lot of breakups in relationships. And so what this does, especially to men, when they are there's a relationship breakup. For them to heal, it takes time. For ladies, if you are in ministry, the better for you. If you have friends, like Reverend Joyce said, it's better for you. But if you are alone, then that one they can, sink even into depression. But for me now, every time there's a breakup, I would go to serving. Then thereafter, of course, now I became a pastor. You are hurting, but you still have to serve. Mm-hmm. You are hurting, but you have to pray for people, you have to encourage people. Then when you go to your house, there is pain, there is emptiness, there is loneliness, there's a prayer you are making to God. It is not easy. It is not easy. And then I have seen friends who, after maybe the dowry date has been changed, the relationship has come to an end, they put a full stop and they say, I don't want to relate with a man again. That was it. Yes. Even for men. I've seen men, you ask them, what are you waiting for? Because for us, women, Bishop, as we are waiting for a man to come. But for men, they are looking and there are so many ladies. So there is confusion. I think they are waiting for the Holy Spirit. They are waiting for God to say, it is that one out of those 20. But
to say, PK, pong.
Yes.
Father had that
but now you realize when there is, like the young adults, senior men, you realize there's a man who is 40, who is 50. But even for them, when you listen to their story, they have been hurt. So they are saying, I don't want to relate with women again.
Yeah.
Yes.
So both the ladies and the men get hurt.
Yes.
And the journey, how would you describe that journey?
The journey after 40 towards marriage, it's a difficult one, because by the time now you're approaching 40 and then you pass 40, like for me, there was a point in my life when I thought, is it possible that I'm one of those who are called to be single? Was it in God's plan that I remain single? Because 40, 40 is old.
40 is not old, Buana. I refuse. I refuse. 40 is still very young. You got married after 40. Are you telling me you got married when you were old?
Life starts at 40.
Or to the society.
To the society.
To the community, to the people. Yes. They think 40 is the land of no
let's
return.
agree it's to the society and also to you. At that point, we are still saying at that point, you're looking and you're thinking, I'm now 40. So I remember when I was celebrating my 40th birthday, it's a good moment to celebrate, but again, you're thinking, I'm not married yet. And by then, most men around then are married. Mm-hmm. So you start feeling like it may never happen for you. And for me, I remember thinking, maybe I was never called to get married. Maybe let me start now receiving the grace to remain single. And I remember at that point, I got into some friends, so we used to pray towards marriage, and we used to pray midnight and all that. And I remember after those prayers, we stayed another 1 year and we are still not married. And they came back and told me, we need to start those prayers again. And I remember telling them, no, this time I'm not praying. I prayed then, God heard me. If he wants me to get married, I will get married. If he has said I'm not getting married, so you people continue, me, I'm not praying. But I know I had prayed. So it's a very trying time. But for me, again, also like Pastor Sarah was saying, I per se did not face that pressure from my parents or my sisters. I thank God I didn't receive that. And even from church members, I don't remember. Miss a few people here and there ask you, especially during weddings, Nayako. And this is where we really tell, especially women in church, where we really ask them that when you see a single lady in church, remember like what Pastor has said, she's waiting for a man to come and approach her. So when you ask her, when are you getting married? She has no answer for you. When are we eating your pirao? She doesn't know also. So the best you can do, I remember my response when I would face somebody who would ask me that question, my response was, are you praying for me? And that caught many of them off guard. Because if you're not praying for me, then really don't ask me that question. So I always ask them, are you praying for me? And they say, oh, yeah. And I tell them, keep praying. We will eat the pilau very soon. And they ate.
Oh, they did?
They ate the pilau.
Wow.
So ladies, especially the married ladies, when you see that single lady, just know she's waiting. She's waiting for a man to approach her. Maybe no man has approached her. The best you can do for her is to pray for her. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's a big thing, the pressure that they face. But don't bow. We say don't bow under that pressure. And that is why you see many of them now will accept a proposal from anyone who comes their way at that point. But just hold on.
Or even backslide.
Or backslide. Yeah. But hold on, the right man is coming.
So what I'm hearing from you is that it's hard, it's tough, there is pressure. Pressure coming from the family.
It does.
Pressure comes from the church. Pressure comes from your place of work. It's as if there's pressure that is coming from all over.
Yeah. And the pressure, there's also another kind of pressure now. Not now to get married, get a baby then.
Oh.
So if you're not finding a man to marry you, now get a child, you are 40. Wow. I don't know what they say about the biological clock.
Before menopause.
Menopause. So get a baby. So we are finding many ladies coming to us now and asking us, can I go ahead and get a baby? Because if the man is not coming. But we are saying,
wait.
And then you know you cannot get a baby without a man.
Now
you are born again. You are a Christian.
Yeah.
I had one ask me, what about IVF? She doesn't have to sleep with a man.
God help us.
She doesn't have to sleep with a man. Just go to an IVF clinic and she's pregnant.
I think we need to pray.
But we are saying no.
We need to pray.
What
I'm capturing is that even you are going this journey or towards 40 and beyond was a journey that was dependent fully on the grace of God.
Yes.
And this is what our salvation is. Yeah. We depend on the grace of God.
Yeah.
But without the grace of God, that journey would be so hard. But you can make it by the grace of God.
Amen.
So your confidence or your faith in God played a major role in bringing you to where you are.
Sure.
Your faithfulness to God. What did you do in church?
Since I got born again, the ministry and the call and the gift that God gave me was that of hospitality. Greeting people and making them feel comfortable, welcoming them, giving them the smile. So I joined ushering from the word go when I got born again, which is about 20 years ago. And so I served in that department until the year I got married.
Wow.
Yes.
And during those moments of disappointment, Sarah, what did you do?
Especially this time when there was a change of date, when they were supposed to come for our dowry.
Yeah.
I would cry at night.
Yes.
A lot. And then I would, of course, during the day now, I would try to be strong for my mother, for my sister, for my nephews, because I have nephews and nieces who look up to me, for the women, the neighbors, who are friends to my mother, and I have come, and they were, to help in preparations, and nothing is coming forth, so I would be strong for them. But the women would come and say, is there a date yet? Nothing. Now we are at home, all of us. And the dowry was to be next week. And this week we are here at home. So they would come, we would pray together. They would cry with me because they were praying for me to get somebody to marry me. So they would pray, and then they start asking God, oh God, what has happened? Why are these people not, why are they not saying something? So it would affect me as they pray, because like one of them was my prayer partner. An elderly lady, a friend to my mother. So she would say, oh God, what have we done this time? And then we prayed. So when she would say those things, and I remember I'm a pastor, I would really cry. But before they say amen, I would, I wiped my tears. It was not easy. Then there's my sister. Then now the other side, they are not speaking. They are saying the relationship is there. There's nothing. But Bishop, before then, actually there was a wedding date. So this guy had put a wedding date. And so he told the pastor, we would like to do the wedding in a month's time. So during that time, the home cell, I lead some ladies. Then there's a home cell. They had started kushona the vitenge. And so we chose the colors. So I said it is white and purple. So they said we will be in uniform. We call them sisters in church, in Kiserian Deliverance Church. So they had done vitenge. They had started doing, they said they would do a roll. Then they do vitenges, and then they would do white shoes and flowers and things like that. And they were praying and they were happy. So it was Thanksgiving. But now when I looked at the time, that 1 month, I saw like it was too short. Then we talked with my pastor, Reverend Joyce, and we said we need more time. So it was pushed. And that's how the dowry date, was pushed like in 2 months' time. Then the wedding will be in 4 months' time. But within that time now, this thing has died.
Oh.
But now the ladies are vitenges and they are ready. They are waiting for the wedding. But now we are waiting for the dowry date again. My family also is feeling like this thing is coming too fast. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think I'm capturing that in all the events, God is still in control.
Amen.
God still has the control, and the confidence is in God. And you get your support from the church,
yes,
from the people you work with. You get support. You got your support from the people you are praying with at the time of need. I think this also stresses the importance of being in a fellowship, being in a home church, being in a group with prayer partners, people you can open up your heart to. Let us forget this idea of being closed, where you feel you are completely closed and you are just all alone. Because when the enemy wants to strike you, he will box you in a place and show you that you cannot make it. But what we're going to do is that right now we may not have much time. We don't have much time. Our time is actually over. But there's still so much that we have not talked about, because you receive lots of words from the single ladies in the church. They talk to you. They write to you. As a pastor, they send so many questions, wanting to know, how do I do this? What happens here? And what we are saying is the support from the church is very, very crucial, and having prayer teams in the church is very, very. We're going to pause it for tonight, so that the next time we are going to discuss on the church. How does the church handle the singles? How does the church handle the singles? Do the singles in the church feel fulfilled? But that's not a topic for tonight. For now, we want to say thank you so very much for being with us. I hope you have gotten something from our discussion. One of the things that I got is, don't accept to be alone. Don't stay alone. Don't be a lone ranger. Don't be a lone ranger. Just be a people person. Be involved in church. You serve in the church. God's time is the best time, and don't allow pressure to come from any quarters. We have actually not talked much about pressure. We just mentioned a little bit about pressure from one quarter, but there's pressure from different quarters, but we will come and deal with that later on. For now, thank you so very much. May the Lord richly bless you. May you walk out of that situation confidently, and God bless you.